Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you all? This is the awkward stage. I find this so awkward when I first come in here and I'm talking to myself. Hello, everyone. This chat's going off this morning. I actually opened up the StreamYard about 10 minutes ago to come in here. And I could see all this chat and I thought, oh, I've opened up the wrong stream. I've opened up an old stream with all the chat. And then I realized it was you guys all having a big chat along. So, yeah, that was pretty funny. I thought I had the wrong stream. But hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Dwayne was here first. Hey, Dwayne. It was good to talk to you yesterday. Hey, PVP. You're not listing anything? No. That's not what we're here about. You got a list. Okay, who have we got in here? I can see Dwayne and PVP have been having a big conversation here. Adam. Hi, Adam. My plan this month is to list 600. Once I sell $110 profit, then I'll upgrade so I can list 1,500 and hopefully move to a bigger house. Woohoo! That's awesome. You got some goals. I'm loving it. That's awesome. So you want to go into the middle-sized store. So, yeah, that's awesome goal. I hope you can do it and keep pushing because you've got this. Gosh, who else? It's just Dwayne and Mothership here. Hi, Lainey. How are you, gorgeous? Hello, Denise. Who's here? I can't see. Hi, Jonathan. I just answered one of your questions before, so I hope that was all right. Hello, Nick. How are you? I know Nick's been doing a listing challenge of his own this week with a few of the UK guys. They did it just between like the four of them. And, yeah, I saw some really, really good results. I'm pretty sure Andrew was the winner going by his posts. He was pretty happy. And hats off to Andrew because he really did post a lot, list a lot this week. I was really impressed with his efforts. So I know he's not here because he never stays awake for me anymore, but well done, Andrew. Hi, Gay. How are you? Oh, Joanna's here and Tamara's here and Liz is here. Now, Liz has done awesome this last week. She has smashed out the listing challenge. She has been tagging me left, right, and center every day on all her achievements, and you've done awesome, Liz. So that's awesome. Ian's here. G'day, Ian. Hello, Flipper. That's Brad. DBG. Hello, Leanne. Gimbal. Hi. And, yeah, I think I've got everyone. I've done the 5 minutes of hellos. No, honestly, guys, yeah, I just thought I'd use this week to, talk about this listing challenge because for the, the last couple of weeks we've chatted about it and there's been a couple of other streams about it. And I just... like we talked about having an accountability partner last week and how it really helps to push you if you've got other people pushing you or somebody checking in on you every day. And, I started the Instagram page called Love to List so that those who want that extra motivation can go onto that Instagram page and, follow it and find other people who are looking for the same listing motivation. And, just kind of thought I'll keep that page a little bit separate to my other one and just focus on using it to share maybe other people's achievements and other people's listing motivation. And, the idea of it is it's just a motivational page, basically. I'm not really going to share anything else on it except for, what other people are doing and just like a daily kind of post on, okay, let's do this. Let's keep listing. But I had an awesome week, guys. Like I really pushed myself and I've barely been doing any listing the last couple of months. I've been really slack. I haven't been consistent. And, my sales have been down because of it. And, I've showed you my little book before on all my listings, for the last few weeks. They've been very minimal, very inconsistent. This week I only did the 1 day. Look at that week. I'd pretty much done, can you see that? Oh, the light's not showing it very well. However, here we go. This week, can you see all my listings? So, is that working? I've just got the ring light there, so it's making it really bright. Down the bottom, can you see how many I did? 178 listings last week. And that was over 6 days of the week. I did take Saturday off. I basically took Saturday off. You can see I've got 3 stores, but I only listed in one. I was focused on building that store, and I did put all my listings into that one store. So this week I am going to focus on spreading some of my listings around a bit more between the other stores, but I still really want to build this middle store up a little bit more. So I'm kind of pushing at those listings a little bit. I took Saturday off. Really, for the fact is, I've been pushing hard all week, and I don't want to burn myself out again. I am the type of person who gets burnt out. And, I had a bit of a busy day on Saturday, and I went to a friend's house for dinner and just did a few things. And I don't know, it just felt really, I took the whole day off eBay. I didn't do one thing to do with eBay, and it just felt really nice, like a good balance. Like I'd pushed all week, and then I took the Saturday off, and I felt like I deserved the Saturday off because I'd actually pushed really hard for the other days. And yesterday on Sunday, I actually really wanted to do a bit more, but I managed to get 10 listings done. But I did spend a few hours cleaning up my office here. It had got a bit out of control, and I had stock that needed putting away. I'd been so focused on listing that everything was gathering in my office. So there was stuff that needed to go back into the garage, that which is where I store everything that's been listed, and the office here is for everything that's kind of not listed. But it had gathered up, and I was starting to look like one of those hoarders, and it was doing my head in. So I did spend a few hours kind of moving the stock and getting it sorted and updating my SKUs and all that kind of stuff. And I still managed to do 10 listings last night, and I'm happy with that. I kind of feel like the weekend is not all about work, and we need to find that balance. And I really want to push hard through the weekdays so that I can ease back on the weekends. And I think that's important. I think we all need a bit of time off. But 178 listings is the most that I've done in any week, probably all year. So I am absolutely stoked. You guys kept me going. All the tags, there was one day there where I was like, oh man, I really don't feel like it. But I was looking at everybody else's tags who were tagging me on Instagram. I've listed 30, I've listed 40. And I was like, oh my God, like this is my challenge. I have to actually push here, and even though I didn't feel like it, I got off my butt and I did actually push, and I got those listings done, and I got more than I even wanted to get done on one of the days. So I'm absolutely stoked. I'm proud, and you guys tagging me in the posts and everything definitely made it more achievable for me. I also had Bron and Rod on the sidelines private messaging me nonstop, and Bron's not in here at the moment. Her computer is stuffed at the moment, but she went really hard all week as well, and she probably got around 150 listings done herself, I think. And I don't know, there was just so many people that did all. Liz, you did absolutely amazing. Rod, oh my God, like Rod has a fire lit in his belly, and I'm hoping that Rod's going to jump down into the stream soon, and he's actually going to join us for about 20 minutes and just tell us about how this fire got lit in his belly. Because if anyone knows Rod, who is the Pommy Picker, Rod has been struggling with his mojo for months, and he has just been really quite flat and down in the dumps, and he's just kind of really struggled to get it going. And oh my God, he just pushed so hard all week, and I would message him a few times through the week, do you want to have a phone call or whatever? And he's like, no, I'm listing, I'm too busy. So he absolutely smashed it. Super proud of him. And, you know, there was Megan Jordan. She was amazing as well. She's comes under the name The Urban Fossicker on Instagram. Now, I know Megan's working today, so she can't be here. But Megan also has a friend called, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's Merica. So she's not Minikin. That's it. I needed to see it to remember. Minikin. She also did absolutely awesome. She smashed through it. Her and Liz are friends. Not Liz, sorry. Her and Megan are friends, and they've been pushing each other and motivating each other. And one thing that was really funny was Megan is quite good friends with Rod as well. And one day Rod was, I think it was on the Monday, and Rod put up on at the end of the day, I did my 30 listings today, and Megan was going head to head with Rod, like using him as her motivation. And Rod did 30. So Megan was like, well, I can't let Rod beat me. So she did 32. So she pushed herself to do that extra couple because she was using Rod to motivate her and keep her accountable. And I just think that's so awesome. And I know Minikin was using Megan, and, you know, it's just so good. You've got those accountability partners that pushes you to go that little step harder. There was another couple on there called the Aussie Fire Thrifters, and they are a husband and wife team, and they were pushing hard all week as well and tagging me and everything, and they did awesome. I need to pull, let me just pull it up for a second, because there was a couple of people and they just, I just was blown away with some, let me just find some of these people. There's a lady called Little Cherub Babies or something. Where is she? You know who I hope she knows who I'm talking about. Here she is. Thrifted Giraffe was another one on Instagram. Awesome. She's using her listing motivation to get ready to, she wants to buy a house. So she's got this little house chart, which is kind of like every time she lists something, it's going towards her house. I just think that's awesome. Aussie Fire Thrifters, who I said. Now this one, Little Cherub's Baby Clothing. Now she was awesome as well. She pushed hard. She was listing like crazy, and so many. There was so many. It was awesome. So I don't know. Are you there, Rod? Come in if you're there. I know Rod's also having some computer issues where he's got a green screen. So let's see. Now, Ian, the Tap Doctor. Ian was the one who came up with having the challenge idea. And Ian, you're my friend and you know I love you. Ian is a little bit slow to list, and I have to hound him a little bit often. Sorry, Ian, you're probably going to kill me. However, hats off to Ian. He did have a couple of days where he still didn't get any listings done, but he managed to get 50-ish listings for the week, which is way more than he normally does. He probably normally does about 20, I think. So, Ian, you did awesome. You at least over doubled what you normally list, so I'm proud of you as well. And I'm going to I know you need a little bit more of a push, so I'm going to keep pushing you again this week. Rod's down here actually, and I'm going to go also have a look at the chat and see what you're all saying. Hey.
Good morning.
My chief lister here.
I'm freezing.
You're cold.
I'm sat in the shed. I've been listing, would you believe? And yeah, it's freezing here. I've got my coat on. Even my mannequins pinched my hat. Oh. And my wig.
I wanted to get you on, Rod, because like you've absolutely had a fire lit in your belly this last week. Like I've been friends with you for a long time, and I've seen all your little waves of you're so lucky to have me as your friend. No, honestly, like I've seen you have so many ups and downs over the last few months, like waves of like not listening at all. Like there's been some weeks where you've barely listed, you've been so unproductive, and you've kind of gone through a stage where you totally lost your mojo, and
oh, yeah.
you've been awesome this week. But
Yeah, it's slipped yesterday though. It's I've been out buying flooring yesterday, new flooring.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it slipped. That means you had something else on, and you've got to still find that balance so that you're not, you don't want to burn yourself out by going totally hard.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, my wallet took a hammering yesterday. Let's put it that way. But last weekend, I thought that challenge last week was Monday to Friday, and Saturday afternoon, Megan's texting me saying, "How many have you done today?" I'm like, "What? I'm off today. I'm not doing it."
Well,
so I try and keep Saturday, Sunday free.
I think that's a good move. Like, I didn't list anything on Saturday either and minimal on Sunday. I think the idea is to, especially if you're full-time like us, you really want to be getting the majority of your listings done during the week so you can enjoy some time off. Like, we don't want to be doing eBay 24/7, do we? Like, we want to have a life as well. So how many did you do this week?
Well, last week.
Last week.
Yeah. Over the Monday to Friday, I've got my notes here somewhere. Monday to Friday, I managed to get 115, which is probably about 100 more than I normally do.
Amazing.
And I like to write the resale value down just to give you some kind of, I don't know, there's a word for it, but anyway, just something to keep me focused anyway. And it was $3,021 worth of potential resale value. I mean, obviously there's postage included in quite a lot of them because a lot of them items were free post. So, but I've built it in. But yeah, it did not amaze me, but it did surprise me that I can actually list that many. I mean, about 4 years ago, I used to be okay with a listing. I used to plow through and what's the supermarket say, stack it high and sell it cheap. But then YouTube got in the way, and I think it's if you want to make any money, stay off YouTube. You've got to seriously, you've got to stay off it and do the one thing that's making you money, and that's earning on eBay. I mean, it's nice to come on now and again and what have you, but YouTube, no, it's got to take a back seat.
It was distracting you too much.
Well, yeah, you get involved in loads of chats and things, and chats aren't paying my bills. Incidentally, I've sent you the PayPal link for the $20. You can,
For your time. I know Leanne thinks the same. She's doing, and it's one of the reasons why I try and only do like a couple of lives or videos a week. I'm not one of these people who can push out 4 videos a week because they are very time consuming. Like, it's not so bad when you come on here for a live and you've kind of got an hour and there's not really a huge amount of prep. But when you make like a pre-recorded, like sometimes I can spend 4 hours making one of those pre-recordeds, and they are time consuming. So 4 hours is, like half a day's work. So you do have to be a bit careful of that. And, it is one of the reasons. Some weeks I'll only get the 1 video out. Sometimes I'll get 2 or sometimes 3, but, probably 2 is about average for me. Like, because otherwise, I'm the same. I'm too busy.
I'll probably. I mean, I'm not saying I'm never ever going to do it again. I'll probably put the odd video out now and again, but I'm not going to sound morbid or anything or whatever the word is. But at the moment, the world's in a bit of a mess, and my subscriber base, if you like, on YouTube isn't at the volume which would, warrant any serious time being devoted to it. I've got to make the money where I can, and I've got rid of a load of apps off my phone which I used to play about with. Just try and focus. So that challenge last week was very good. It kind of reiterated what I needed to do. To be honest.
So how did you find, because you were tagging us all quite a bit into the on Instagram and Facebook and that. Were you looking at at all the other people who were using the tags and stuff as well? Was that motivating you, seeing all the other people sharing their listings?
Oh yeah, I mean the numbers were good, but I think that could be a little bit daunting for a few as well, because if you've just come into this and you start seeing them numbers and you're like, oh, you know, it might just be a little bit daunting, but also on the flip side, encouraging as well. But yeah, to see the numbers, like Liz was banging. I mean, she's tagging me in every post every day, which was showing me how many she'd listed, and so was Megan. And
I think Liz managed about 140, 150-ish for the week as well, which was awesome. You know, I'm not sure how many Megan ended up with at the end, but you know, I'm pretty sure she was up there over the 100 mark as well.
Yeah, she was. I think she beat me, so she's over 115. She did send me the figures, but I can't remember.
I think.
Do you think it's actually? Sorry, do you think it's actually increased your sales last week?
Well, I had like a stack of parcels yesterday that went out. Like I had a huge Monday stack, so I definitely had a good weekend.
See, I'm not entirely convinced it's giving any kick up the backside. I mean, I've had sales, but they're not been. I mean, I've been sharing with you and Bronwyn and Megan and Liz. I think just had a few of the posts of some of my sales this past week, but I don't think it's been due to the constant listing last week. I could be wrong, you know.
You know, I think that's something that might build, like sometimes that might not be an instant thing, but if you list hard now for a couple of weeks, then you might start to see that pick up. I definitely had a good weekend of sales, but I actually had a really good weekend of sales also in my main store, which I didn't even list once in. So I was probably split 50-50 on orders coming in from store 1 and store 2, with minimal for store 3 because I don't do much with that store. But you know, 50, considering I haven't listed in store 1 for quite a while, I still had like a good chunk of orders. 50% of my orders were still coming in from the main store. So maybe it was just a pretty good weekend, but I'm hoping that if I can keep the momentum going and list really hard for a couple of weeks, then I'll start to really see that boost in sales start climbing back up on the, you know, the 90-day total and stuff. It's been a bit stagnant there for a while, sitting around the same amount. And, you know, I'd really like to push that up a bit. But, yeah, I just think it was awesome to see you get that fire in your belly. And somebody did actually DM me and say that they had pushed really hard and they were glad that we weren't going to try and do this listing challenge like every single week because they felt like they get burnt out. I think, I think the advantage of this particular challenge was the only winner is you can't cheat at it because you're cheating yourself. The only winner is going to be you because it's not matter. I've listed 300 listings, aren't I great? It's not about that. It was just about just trying to keep each other, as you said, motivated. Yeah, I'm only saying that because I didn't win. You were the winner, Rod. You were the winner of your own challenge, and that's what it's all about. And like you said before, there's some people that might start to feel a little bit daunted by seeing all those big numbers, like people listing over 100, 150, 170 items in a week. But it's all about pushing yourself. So you've got to take into account that some of us are full-time and we've got more hours and we've got bigger stores with more stock. And some of us are part-time with, you know, much smaller stores. And it's not about who's listing the actual most. It's about listing the most that you can for your store. So, you know, if it's just about trying to increase what you would normally do to give yourself that boost. And yeah, like you said, like you were kind of amazed that you could list that amount.
Well, I knew I could do it, and I have done it in the past. But like I say, other things got in the way. You know, like there was, like I say, YouTube, Nana Naps, which I missed dreadfully. You know, I used to like putting my feet up early afternoon and having a cup of tea, and you know, but that don't pay the bills, so something's got to give.
I think the thing is with this week, we all still keep the momentum up and we still keep trying to list. And maybe everyone's last week, that's a bit of a benchmark to know what you're actually capable of and what you can do. So this week you still list hard and you still keep that momentum going, but you also want to take it down a slight little notch because you don't want to burn out. And then next week, we kind of come every second week, we kind of push back up a gear so that we're like a little bit like not losing. We don't want to slump down. If you let it slump down for a few weeks, then it's really hard to get that mojo back up. So
how did you go with the listing and sourcing stock?
I sourced a few times during the week, but I've still got quite a death pile here, to be honest.
Right. See, I don't know if it was you I was having this conversation with. It was definitely, might have been even myself. But people call these death piles. I don't really have a great deal of stuff lying around, but I don't know. Everyone calls the unlisted stock a death pile. I kind of think the listed stock's your death pile.
Some of it. If it's sitting there
because while it's sat there, it's not earned you any money, has it?
No, that's right. And you've got to look at that, depending on whether or not you follow the quick flip or the slow dime or whatever business model that you've got. But if your stock's been in there for 3 or 6 months, you really want to start moving that dead stock and reducing it and sending out some offers that are a bit lower than what you would have liked, because you do just want to keep moving it around so that you have fresh stock.
It's like last week. I mean, I think one of the best features eBay ever brought out with this send offers to watches. I know your viewpoints on this, but last week I had so many sales where I'd list something, and then within an hour, on a few occasions, someone would be watching it. Great stuff. I'd send them an offer while it's fresh in the mind and what have you. I don't care if I only made $5 out of it. It's gone. If they've managed to buy it, it's gone. It's out the door. I can move on to someone else.
Yep.
But I know you kind of go along with that way of thinking as well, don't you?
Yep. Get it out quickly. That's good. I love what Gay said.
The SAS.
The first day of the challenge, I was really daunted and was like, I can't compete with this. And then when it's not a competition, so I used what you were all doing to motivate me to get to 61. 61 is amazing, Gay. Like, that's a huge effort. And, you should be so proud. And that's what it is. It's not about trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to list the same amount as us. It's all about bettering yourself and listing more than what you normally would. So, and that's it. Liz has written the same thing. Not a competition, but a motivation. And that's it. Just so, sometimes you can be sitting there and you can just being unproductive, pretty lazy. You've got to, what it's like. You get a bit flat and you just, if you've got that daily motivation with knowing that other people are pushing hard, it actually makes you want to push hard.
Well, we don't have that traditional boss or foreman, do we? We are our own motivator. So if you've got peer pressure from your fellow resellers who are giving you that bit of inspiration, that bit of motivation, then it's obviously going to help. But I think we're our own worst enemy, aren't we? We work from home. My daily drive is a 5-second walk in my pajamas to the shed. It's and yes, I wear pajamas.
We saw them on the stream the other night.
What stream?
When we
the one where you was drunk.
Pajamas.
Is that the one where you lost your telephone?
Yes. It was.
Hence the no Saturday listing.
That's it. That's it. Saturday. That's what I was doing. I was buying a new phone. It took me about 4 hours. Yes, for everyone who doesn't understand what Rod's saying, we were doing a private stream. I got up and went to the toilet. My phone was in the pocket and it fell straight down the toilet bowl. My phone died. I think listing challenges are a really good exercise for boosting morale, incentive, and motivation. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so behind this chat. I really do apologize, guys. If there's any questions, please put a big thing up that says question. there you go. Liz is saying something about getting her death pile down. We'll have to put burnout in our titles if we do it weekly. Yeah, and that's it. And maybe you can't even do it fortnightly. Maybe every 3 weeks works for you. I know for me, week on, week off, and then back hard the next week is a good motivator for me, because if I slump down for too many weeks, then I just find it so hard to push myself back up. So this week I'm really going to try and like last week, my aim was to go somewhere between the 150 and the 200, and I hit the 178. So I was stoked with that. I was pretty much smack in the middle. This week, I'd still like to maybe aim for 100, because I think 100 as a full-time seller each week with somebody with a volume store is like a pretty achievable thing. But then the next week, then I want to push it back up maybe again to that 150, 200. And so I maybe want to do, maybe that would be my consistent kind of fortnightly thing, 100 one week, 150, 200 the next week, and then back down to 100, even 80.
So, if you listed 100 items, on average, what dollar value would you expect that to be around?
Oh, God, Rod, I don't...
Because this is a thing I've heard a few people talk about as well. If you list, I don't know, say you listed 50 items in a week and it was only worth $400, and that was the only thing you had on. At best, all you're going to get is $400 that week. So, I mean, I was quite happy when I found out I'd listed $3,021 worth.
Yeah.
But I know I won't get that. Well, even if I got 75% of that overall, I'd be happy.
But that's 1 week. So you do that for 2 weeks, and next minute, in like a month, you've listed 14 grand's worth of stock.
I'm waiting for it. I know Ian's in the chat. I'm still waiting for this GoFundMe he's doing for my Ferrari. He did say, he said he'd do it.
Also, Rod, tell everyone, because you were explaining to me the way that you tracked how much your dollar figure was, and you used your SKU, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, all I did was when I listed an item, everyone probably does it anyway, but in the SKU, the custom label bit, say it was a Monday, I'd just type MON, and every item would have MON in it. And then when they were all listed at the end of the day, I just did a search for MON in the custom label, and it brings them all up. What effectively what you've listed that day, and it tells you how many and then the dollar value. That's I mean, a lot of people use that way. So is that not
next week? You can do that and typed in Monday. You'd come up with all the other ones from last week as well.
Yeah, but I was writing them down. So once I'd got the figures, all I did was I did a custom edit on all of those custom labels, or a mass edit on them custom labels, and then just put in the details, I don't know, the date they were listed or whatever anybody decides to write in. But that's how I did it.
Yeah. No, I think it's a really interesting, like, it didn't even occur to me to keep track of how much dollars I was listing, but I know I listed a lot of dollars worth, and fingers crossed over the next couple of weeks that you'll start to see the sales. I think it would be interesting after really pushing hard for maybe 4 to 6 weeks to have what your sales, like, it's probably a good idea when you write down your listings, like if you're keeping track of it somehow. Like, I really should write down, like, on the Sunday what my total 90-day sales are. And then after 4 or 6 weeks of really pushing hard, just having a look at it. I think it was Liz that tagged in a post saying that she was up 40% or something.
Yeah, that was today, wasn't it? Well, yeah. I saw it today.
Let us know what that was again, Liz. Just it was like 40% of a week of Liz can explain it. Let me have. Hi, Daryl. There's new people in here. I'm sorry, I've been really slack with the thing.
Ooh, just had a sale.
It depends on what you need. My lifestyle living expenses mean I only need to earn $400 a week. that's awesome. I wish I only needed to. I spend $400 a week on groceries, feeding.
Was it the? Sorry, Mel. Was it the one Liz put in on Instagram with the return on investment? Was that the one?
Yeah.
Well, it's there, but I don't know if you should want me to say it. So.
Well, she put it on Instagram, so I think it's all right, isn't it?
Well, it says her sale. She says about a listing challenge is 151% up on the previous week. That's
Amazing.
brilliant.
So she's.
She put it. She's already wrote it in the chat.
Okay, sales are up 150% over last week, and ROI on sales last week 461% up. Amazing. And Liz, you listed around about 150 things, 140 things. Is that correct? So yeah, I mean, it definitely shows there that Liz upping her listings, you know, her sales have jumped massively, which is like, that's motivation in itself, isn't it? Because your sales jump 150% because you actually got up your butt and worked hard or worked as how you should be. So Nick's saying he's always listed in bursts. It just happens naturally. I find being consistent really difficult. Productivity comes in waves for me. I think that's true for a lot of us, especially people in this kind of industry. A lot of us do kind of have personalities where we're a bit scatterbrainy, or we go up and down in waves, or our moods go up and down. Speak for
yourself, love.
Speaking for myself.
I'm perfectly sane.
Where are we?
Next bursts are about 3 in the morning, though, aren't they?
Yay, I didn't realise that you're the thrifted giraffe. Okay, now I'm with it. See, it's really tricky when you have different YouTube names to different Instagram names. Okay, that's awesome. Now I know that.
Jonathan's got a question.
Has he? Where are we?
In the chat.
Do you want to explain it, Rod? You're probably better at it than me.
All I know it as his return on investment.
So the money that she's so she's basically, what did she say, her 461% return on investment. So basically, you know, like, that's huge, you know, like what she spent to how much she's make is the return on the investment. I'm not very articulate at explaining these kind of technical things. I'm not a technical. I'm one of these people who knows what I'm doing, but I'm not articulate when it comes to anything technical. I'm a spreadsheet freak. All my primary listings are tracked to 0.01% for my profit margin. One group of listings are at 547 orders at 105.42%. See, I
couldn't be bothered with that. When I first started doing, kind of getting serious with eBay, I had more spreadsheets than Bill Gates, and I got lost in them all. I even had them linked to each other, and what was it telling me? It was telling me nothing, really. No offense, but it was telling me nothing. I mean, I knew I had $5 in my pocket, but this thing was telling me all kind of numbers, and I in the end I just binned it. I couldn't be bothered with it. It was taking up too much time. Besides which, you got too much information on your computer. The tax man might have a bit of a dig deeper.
I would have to read that question a few times to like really work it through in my head. Like, I get it. I just need to work it through a bit more. Where are we? I sat on my butt in front of my computer all week. You sat on your butt listings. Isn't that amazing? But like, it's just awesome. You did so well. I'm just scrolling up to see if there's anything I missed. Nick's saying our challenge here in the UK was great. We all benefited from the motivation, and we listed way more than we would have done otherwise. My sales shot up, and loads of the newly listed stock sold. Did you find that, Rod, that the stuff that you've been listing last week was stuff that was selling?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot. I mean, I sent you photographs and Bronwyn of stuff that was going, and a lot of the stuff I listed last week sold pretty much the next day. I say a lot of it. I mean, you know, not a lot of it, but enough. Like that Kubra hat I bought. I paid $2 for it on a garage sale 2 Saturdays ago. I listed it on the Monday, I think, and I think it sold Tuesday. But I think the key I've got in my head. So I needed to get back into some kind of groove with my day. When you've got a normal job, you go into work, you clock in, you're there for 8 hours, you do set tasks during the day, you go home, and that's it till the morning. But I needed to get some kind of regularity with my working day, and I've found one now. And it's working all right for me at the moment. But also, I do think a lot of it was I'm not being greedy with the prices. Yeah. I look at something and say, would I pay that for that? And if I had to, I probably would, but I wouldn't pay any more. So, just don't be greedy. Get it in, get it out. And that's what I used to do years ago. And then it kind of went. I got greedy. I got greedy, and I suffered for it. So,
yeah, it doesn't benefit you from being greedy. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Yes, every now and then you get a really good sale, and you think, yes, it was worth holding on for that amount of money. But at the end of the day, if you'd sold it quicker, you could have 3 times.
Everyone's different. Everyone has a different set of circumstances as well. Unfortunately, my bank manager isn't as forgiving as most, but there you go.
Yeah.
But can I just say one thing while we're on the subject of money? For those of us in Australia, you do realise today is the end of the financial year. Tomorrow is a new dawn. So I have paid my eBay fees. I've paid all my PayPal stuff I need to pay. I've got it all out of the way to keep it in this side of the year. So if you've forgotten about it and you want to try and bang everything into this financial year, get your tax bill down, get it in. Because tomorrow, you've no chance.
I think paying the fees is a good idea because otherwise, like me, I've got mine set up on automatic direct debit whenever they take them. But normally they'll give me it month, and then I don't have to pay it for another 2 weeks. So I'll probably do the same as you. I'll go in and I'll pay what I owed on my fees, and I'm going to go up and buy a whole heap of bubble wrap and stuff.
That's where I'm headed after this. I'm going into town. I've got to do my post. Excuse me. Go and get my. I was thinking of a way to try and get my flooring as a deductible, but
maybe it's like you've got to have it there. But I mean, I bought the phone and I actually decided to almost outright buy my phone rather than pay it off over a 2-year monthly plan. I pretty much forked out $900 and then went on to a smaller plan for 12 months. But I kind of felt like if I chucked $1,000 nearly towards it, it's $1,000 worth of expenses. Won't hurt me, and it also makes my monthly payment less, and it'll be owned outright in 12 months, which is good. And I'll definitely go up to Bunnings later on. I'm going to buy a chunk of bubble wrap, and probably this afternoon when I do a post run, I'm going to stock up on some satchels, and it can't hurt. I'm not. This is my first year of being full time in a tax year, so I'm really not 100% sure how much tax I'm going to have to pay, and it's all a little bit frightening that I might not have saved.
I'm extremely lazy with paperwork, and I've got a tub about so big, and all my invoices, I just put them in, receipts, everything. So I've got a year's worth of sifting to do in the next few months.
Look at this. This is how behind I am on my receipts.
That's nothing. Think of a 52-litre tub.
I'm going, oh my God, I have to sort all these.
Well, Trish said she was going to do mine for me, so I thought I'd just save it all up and she can do it in one go, but it might take her about a week.
Oh God. I'm not looking for, I'm actually a year already behind on tax. So I've got 2 years to do. I'm far out, but I do think that next week I might dedicate a day to just getting some tax stuff.
You need more than a day for that lot.
with taxes, it's so overwhelming if you try and do it all at once. So I'm just going to break mine into some chunks and just like, okay, I'm just going to spend a few hours doing this organizing or separating or getting monthly separating all those receipts or something. That will take me a couple of hours in itself. So I think
that's what I did last year. I got 12 card envelopes, just wrote all the months on them, January, February, March, and just sorted them all out, put them in there, and then threw them in a drawer and left it a week, and went back to it and just picked about 2 or 3 months at a time and do it. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed with it. It's my own fault. Should keep on top of it, but that's just another, lazy element.
I might do that, Liz.
Oh no, I won't trust my lads doing it.
I work in the retail industry as a merchandiser as my main job. I've got more bloody packing material than stock. I did the Bunnings stores in UK. Before that went pear-shaped. Okay. Yeah, I don't really need like packing materials like boxes. I know Rod does a lot more than me. I just mainly use satchels to send in. So it's more bubble wrap and tape and stuff. But I've got quite a lot of tape here. But I'll probably definitely go up and buy about 8 big rolls of bubble wrap. That's probably about all I've got room for. But I do go through a lot of bubble wrap. So yeah. Where is it? I only did my numbers for last week specifically for the listing challenge to see what my effort produced. And isn't that like, doesn't that motivate you now for the next week? It makes you just kind of go, wow, like if I increased it by that much, I really want to maintain some momentum so that, imagine if in 4 weeks and I've done an extra 150% every single week for like four weeks in a row, like that'd be amazing. Yeah. But no, I definitely think it's well worth everybody finding that accountability partner, joining in these kind of challenges that are on offer because, yeah, I mean, like you don't have to compete with everyone else. You just have to use it as motivation for yourself and just knowing that at the end of the day, there's other people that you're following that are listing how many they've sold is enough motivation to go, I've got to do my post with how many I've sold. I don't know, like if I get to the end of there was a couple of days there where I was like, no, I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished because I want to put my Instagram out that says how many listings I've done for the day. And I want, pushing myself. I
kind of cut myself off about 7 o'clock at night. That was, I might just sit there and answer questions on eBay or whatever way watching TV and that, but I wasn't. There was only one day I felt pressured into putting a post out on Instagram, and I think that was the Thursday. I don't even know why I felt pressured. I thought I can always put it out on the Friday, but I just wanted to be consistent. Yeah.
Well, consistency is always the key, I think. But it definitely motivates you to see, and by building a hashtag like we're doing, like you can go on and just simply go to that hashtag and look at what everybody else is doing. And that's
what was the hashtag, by the way?
You made the hashtag up. Love to live. I knew you wanted credit for that.
I'm just reading Meredy Benton's post here. I got a big bundle of bubble wrap from, and there's an anaconda in Toowoomba. I never even thought of asking them.
Oh, okay.
My lad's always in there.
I think it's opening next week, just near me, and
Get in there.
Stack.
Yeah.
Yep. I have my receipts in a basket. Then at the end of the month, they're going to a portable. Yeah, and Minikin, I normally do that, but I am running a few months behind, so I normally do it all monthly. But yeah, I'm a few months behind there. I've got a stack of them, so I'm actually dreading it. I hate doing them, and I don't pay a bookkeeper, but I pay an accountant at the end of the financial year. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get at least 100 this week and take a day off on the weekend. Yep, Liz, I think that's really smart. That's kind of my aim for the week, around that 100 mark, and hopefully I'm going to push through. If I've got those 100 done Monday to Friday, I'm going to really ease back on the weekend again. I only want to push on weekends now if I know that I haven't had time to get it done in the week. And you know, life happens. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes things go on and we get distracted, or other things come up, or your kids get sick, or whatever it is, and it can throw your week out of whack. But as a full-time seller, my priority is to try and get my listings done Monday to Friday. And I'm okay to do a little bit on the weekend, but I don't want to be pushing on a Saturday and Sunday to try and do 40 listings. Like, I want to be able to have a bit of downtime, or maybe I quite like on a Sunday spending a couple of hours just while everyone's at home, just kind of cleaning up and tidying my room and the rest of the house or whatever. So I find that quite relaxing with just some music on or something. So yeah, I think that's going to be my plan going forward, to really try and push Monday to Friday, and, you know, every second week to push it up to that next level, and then kind of go back down on the off weeks. And I think if I can do that, then I'll be able to maintain that momentum, because that's basically the momentum I used to have last year. That's when I was pushing like that last year, around that 100 plus every week, and I was, you know, like loving it. And then this year has been a bit of a difficult year for me, so my mojo's been a bit bleh. So just to get back up into that consistent listing again, I'll just be stoked if I can do that.
I mean, 100 listings on a 5-day week isn't unachievable, really, in great scheme of things. It's only 20 a day, isn't it?
Yeah, and
finding
you know,
the stock's the difficult part for some people, you know.
I mean, these days we were listing like 40 a day, so you know, like 20 a day shouldn't be that hard. It's just being organized and being consistent and making that list, like you said, making the listing a priority. Like, you know, work before play, isn't it? Really, you know. Like,
see, mine might take a bit of a dip on a couple of days this week, because I've finally convinced Trish to open an eBay account. She's not overly keen on it because she doesn't like it, really. You know, it's not her thing. But she used to do a lot of crafting, you know, paper craft, all that decoupage, all that kind of stuff. And she's got a lot of stock she wants to just get rid of. And rather than just donate them, she says, I might as well see if I can get something for it. So we're going to open a fresh store up for her, under a fresh PayPal account for her. I know eBay's getting this managed payments, but at the moment, you know, it's still PayPal. So,
yep.
And I want it to be separate from mine. You know, I don't want, like I say, I don't want a tax man prodding too deep. You know? Yes, we have an understanding, me and the tax man. Just stay away from me.
We'll just zip it. So why don't you do Trisha's stuff for her on your page?
No, because I wanted to have. Well, if she's doing it, she'll understand some of the issues I go through with, and you know, it won't be as I don't know the word, you know. I don't know, but I just wanted to have her own store and just have a play about with it. Who knows? She might be absolutely fantastic at it and leave me in the dust.
She might fish you out of the water.
Wouldn't be hard.
Just saying there that Trish might want to try selling that kind of stuff on Facebook groups, because that might be good for, you know, that crafty stuff might go well on Facebook.
Yeah, I'd have to do that side of things though, because it's the I don't think she'd want to be dealing with people coming to the you know, the house picking up things. But I know people moan about Facebook, but I don't mind it. You know, I treat people not turning up as someone just not paying on eBay. You know, it's just part of business. But you know, I don't mind Facebook. No.
Yeah.
Plus it's cash.
But yeah, no, we've been going for an hour, so we might, you know, finish.
I was only coming on for 20 minutes.
you can get ready. You can go back and list, and I'll go get my.
I'm going to get this in. I'll get this invoice revised. For you.
I'm paying you by the minute you come on my channel.
I'm going out for. I'm going post office. I've got quite a bit to.
Balian. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just reading something.
But no, I think it's really good. I think it would be great to see like everybody next week as well, consistently trying to, push themselves and, and just see where you can go for it. Keep tagging on Instagram, and I'll try and get some more to share it. It's actually quite difficult running 2 Instagram accounts. I was getting messages left, right, and center. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to cope? And I didn't actually set up a Facebook group for it yesterday. I'm still thinking about that. It's just whether or not I've got time to manage another platform, I guess. Like it's a lot of work to be managing those kind of managing them all. So I'm just going to stick with the Instagram one for a while and see how it goes. So if you do join the challenge, make sure you just tag in that hashtag #LoveToList so we can see it.
I created.
You created it. You can have credit. It was your suggestion. So yeah, if everyone just tags it in, then we can see who's playing. We can see who's using. We can use each other for motivation, and I think that'll be good. I think it'll work well, and hopefully in about 4-6 weeks, maybe in about another 6 weeks, we can even do another live stream and just see how everyone's going and if they've maintained momentum and what kind of impact it's had on the store once we give it 6 weeks, have the sales really increased, and maybe keep track of what your sales are now to then what they are in maybe 6 weeks of constant listing. That would be really quite interesting to look back on and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we might finish it up. Well done to everyone who listed like a machine last week, and keep it up, keep your motivation up. Try not to, don't burn yourself out by pushing too hard every single day. It's not long-term achievable. So, don't beat yourself up if you have a day where you can't get heaps of listing, but yeah, just try every couple of weeks to re-push and, keep that motivation high. Okay. Thanks for Rod and telling us here. I was really, really happy. And I know Bron was as well. We were both just like, look at Rod this week. He is like a machine. Like, it was like talking to a
busted old machine.
No, it really was. It was so nice to see. Like, we were both just sitting there going, look at Rod. He's like got a whole different vibe to him than he had a couple of weeks ago.
And that's 4 sales since I've been on with you. So I'll let you off with your invoice.
I hope I've had some as well. No. Right, guys, I'm going to end the live here. And thanks so much for coming again. And I'm hoping to have another video out maybe Thursday for you guys this week. So we'll see how I go with all my time. But, yeah, thanks for coming, guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.